everybody. Today I'm going to review Milwaukee's brand new 46-inch tool chest and cabinet combo. Now these are now available at the Home Depot and the Home Depot online, and I first saw them in the store last week when I was in there shopping. Now I did go over earlier today to pick this up. The Home Depot employees did load everything up for me. I drove home, unloaded it, assembled everything, and then finally got it in the workshop here. Now I will tell you just from moving this around that it is very heavy duty, and it's nothing like just a standard store brand box that you'll normally find. So even though they may look similar in size, with the difference being the color, I can tell you the construction of them and the weight differs greatly. So what we're actually going to do in this video is take a closer look at the different features that Milwaukee has built into this, and then we're going to see how it actually does loaded up with tools. To give you a little size comparison of the box, I'm 6'2", and the box is coming in with the lid shut at 5'2". But when it's fully open, to the top of the lid then rises to 6'6". So if you are in a workshop or garage or maybe even a basement with low ceilings, do keep that in mind because you always want to make sure that you can open the lid up fully. Now on the top you can see this large storage area, so let's say drills or anything else can stand upright in here, you can shut the lid and everything's going to be secure. But what I'll specifically be using this for are my different chargers, because I don't want all the dust here in the workshop flying around getting down inside the chargers and damaging them. So the chargers and the batteries for my everyday use tools will be stored up here, and because there is a power strip inside the lid, I can keep everything plugged in and charging, then just shut the lid and everything's going to be secure. Now to actually plug the power strip in, what you're going to need to do is remove the top drawer on the top box and then the top small drawer on the bottom box. So what we'll do is go ahead and just pull this out. You can see the power cord in here, but there is a little cutout on the back of the box that this is going to feed through. So it's very easy to remove this box. Right here on the actual slide rail system, you're going to see a little gray tab. On this side, you're going to press down. On the other side, you're going to press up, and then just pull the drawer directly out. You can see it's coming out very easily. I'm not having to force it. So if yours is not coming out easily, you're doing something wrong. So don't just yank it out of there and then break your drawer. But we'll just set the drawer out of the way. We'll go ahead, untie this, and then we can take the plug and go ahead and feed it out the back. So now that the drawer has been removed, we can easily access this plug in the back of the box. I'm going to go ahead, take the power cord, push it through. Now that the cord's sticking out the back, we'll go ahead and just pull it out the rest of the way until it stops, and then we'll just go ahead and plug it in the outlet. Now all I need to do is press this back against the wall, and we can reinstall the drawer and start using that power strip. We'll go ahead and reinstall the drawer, lining the tabs up, and you can press this all the way in, then line the tabs up, and that's going to make it really easy to line everything up correctly. You can see it'll click right back in place. Now the drawer has been correctly installed, the wire is now routed out the back of the box, and we're ready to go. So just flipping the power switch to on, we can then plug this in and start charging our batteries. Now this bottom drawer has an insert in it which they're calling a power tool organizer. Now that is removable if you don't want to use it, but I'll show you how it works. Inside here I have a couple different impact drivers as well as a couple different drills and some batteries. And you can see everything's lined up pretty well. Now the only thing that I'll say that may be an issue with this, because there are places for 4 different tools in here, all of these tools however do have the optional belt clips attached on the side. When that actually happens, it's making it too wide for 4 of them to actually stay in there 4 side by side. So I can actually put in 3 side by side, but then the last one I actually do need to turn around and put face down. Not a huge deal, the drawer still shuts fine, but you cannot put 4 of them with belt clips side by side in here, at least 18 volt drills. Now 12 volt drills may fit in here just fine, but 18 volts with those belt clips on the side are not going to fit in here side by side. But what we'll do is go ahead and just remove these, and then I'll show you how easy it is to remove this insert. Now the other thing about this, once I pull the insert out, it'll be a lot easier to see, but it does have battery storage also for the M18 batteries, and 4 of those will fit in here side by side with no problem. So I'll go ahead and just pop that out. It's a little tab in the back that this is actually latched into, so we'll just lift up on it, it'll pull right out, and this is the power tool drawer insert. So you can see you can remove it. There's already a drawer liner in the bottom that I put in there earlier, and now you would just have one open drawer. So it's not that this is tack welded in or anything. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. Now if you do have that in there and you do have those batteries, right here on the front there's little notches, and what we'll do is just line that up with the slide rail system, and you can see it's going to hold a battery in place. So if you do want your battery storage as well as your tool storage in just one drawer, they're making that very easy for you. Now one really nice feature that you notice right off the bat when you use this is the soft close feature on all the drawers. Now every single drawer, even the larger ones on the bottom, have this feature. And much like very high-end kitchen cabinets, the drawers do not slam shut. They're going to shut almost all the way, and then it's going to slowly press in fully. So if you want to see what I mean by that, you can see they do move freely, but when it gets all the way to the end, it's going to latch in, and you can see that they slowly move in to the closed position. So they're not going to just slam shut and bang your tools around. You can easily just press these in, it's going to suck it in the rest of the way, and your tools are always going to be in the same place whenever you need to use this. Now when it comes time to secure everything, I do want to tell you a little upgrade that you can do at your house to make things a lot easier on yourself. Now the big complaint that many people have with any of these toolboxes that you buy in a box store versus, let's say, off the Snap-on truck is the fact that the top and the bottom box never have matching locks. This not being an exception to that. The top box does have its own set of keys that control not only this lock cylinder, but also the one in the independent locking drawer. And then the bottom box is going to have a separate lock cylinder with a separate key code. So if you don't want to change anything, you are going to be required to carry around two sets of keys with you at all times. Now I'll tell you a very quick, simple, and easy little upgrade that you can do right in your own garage to fix that, and it will make everything a lot more secure. What I actually did, just to take a look at it before I made this video, was I pulled the drawers out of the bottom box. So what I did is I pulled the large drawer out, as well as the three large drawers on the left-hand side. Then I could look at the lock cylinder of the bottom box. It's held on just the same way as this independent locking drawer lock. And what you can do is actually remove this lock cylinder, remove the one off the independent locking drawer, and then just swap them. That way your top box and your bottom box would then have the same exact key. And then this independent locking drawer that you can keep, let's say, your wallet as well as your cell phone in when you're at work, that would have its own key. So really it's going to make it very secure. If you gave somebody just the key to your box to go get something, they could not open this up without the separate key for it. So what we will do at this point is then take that cylinder off the bottom box, move it up here, this is going to have its own key. So the other nice thing, because this is an independent locking drawer, that just means that it's double locked. When you shut the lid and you lock the top box, that is still going to lock. It's not independently locked by itself, but it does have a separate lock on the front. That's a real big upgrade that really cancels out one of the complaints that I had about this box, the fact that it needed two different keys, because that does really add that extra level of security, and you can do everything with just some wrenches at your house. Now as far as the casters go, they are going to be 5-inch casters, which will hold up to a lot of weight. They have two swivel casters and two stationary casters. When you install these on the bottom of the box, just think ahead, and you do want to put the swivel casters on the same side of the box as your handle. So in this case, I put the handle on the left-hand side, so I did put both the swivel casters on the left-hand side. That makes moving it around the shop or the garage a whole lot easier. Now the brake mechanism is a very unique design that I really like. You don't need to pry up on the bottom of it to release. What you'll do is press down on the left-hand side, and it is imprinted with the word on. That's going to engage the brake, and it's going to prevent the wheel from moving. When you want to release the brake and you want it to freely move, they do have a separate tab here on the right-hand side with the word off. If you just press down on that, it's going to release the brake, and now the box is going to move. Now, one thing that I would have liked to seen on the casters are Zerk fittings. What that means is it's a small fitting that's going to allow you to hook a grease gun up to it and inject grease into the bearings. They did not put that on these casters, and instead you were going to have to take, let's say, a grease gun with a needle attachment, stick the needle inside the bearing, and then pump the grease in. So it's just one more step, but they are greasable. So that is a good thing. They are very heavy duty, but I would have liked to seen that Zerk fitting on there. One very useful drawer that they did build into the top box is going to be the bottom one on the left-hand side. So the large wide drawer on the left-hand side, you can see we can pull that out, and they actually have a work surface built into this. It is going to fold up, and underneath you could easily store your laptop, let's say your tablet, even your receipt book or some magazines, and you know that you'll have a large usable workspace when you need to write something out. Now keep in mind, let's say you may say, I already have a workbench in my shop. Most workbenches, like my workbenches, are nothing more than just junk collection areas. But by keeping this on top of the toolbox drawer and then sliding it in, there's no way I could fill that space up, and I'll always have a clean work surface when I need to use it. Now finally, one of the big concerns that everyone has when they look at a toolbox is how much weight can I put per drawer? All the drawers with a single slide, which is going to be all of the ones on the top box, and all of the ones except for these two bottom ones on the bottom box are rated at 100 pounds apiece. The bottom two actually have two sets of slides, and they're rated up to 200 pounds. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just pull this out, and I'll go ahead and step in here. I weigh about 180 pounds. I'll go ahead and stand in this drawer. You can see the box is very secure, and I'll just move myself in and out. You can see it is sliding in and out fine. And then when I get out of it, we'll go ahead, just press it in, and we'll see if that soft close is still going to work. Yep, it's pulling back in, nothing got bent, and it will hold up a lot of weight. Now, of course, I weigh a lot more than 100 pounds, so I can't try that same test with the smaller drawers, but they do feel a lot more solid than my standard Husky box that I have next to it. Now, the other thing to point out, the Husky box is a 40-inch wide box. All the drawers are the entire width of the box. Where this one only has one large drawer, all the other ones are pretty much split 2/3 and 1/3. So just keep that in mind if you are a mechanic and you have a lot of extensions, large ratchets or breaker bars or even pry bars, you're really only going to have one drawer that those are going to fit in, and then your other tools can fit in these other ones. So if you are a newer mechanic starting out, that shouldn't be a problem. But if you are a seasoned mechanic or somebody that does do a lot of different work on a lot of different vehicles, keep in mind the length of your tools, because they are only going to fit the long ones in this very large drawer unless you do hang something off the side. Now for, let's say, a plumber, an electrician, HVAC guy, or just a homeowner, that's not really a concern because most people don't have very long tools. But, you know, for a mechanic, it really is a big deal. However, this drawer will hold up 100 pounds, which is a lot of tools. And if you do have some very large tools, they are going to fit in that just fine. So now you've seen Milwaukee's brand new 46-inch tool chest and cabinet combo for yourself. It was very easy to load, unload, and assemble because I did have help. Now if I tried to do that by myself, it probably would have either damaged the box or me because it does weigh over 400 pounds. So just to be safe, make sure you do have somebody helping you when you want to put this together. Now overall, I will say I do think it's a great value, especially when you look at how much storage space you're getting and how sturdy it is. It's much more sturdy than that Husky box, and it weighs almost double. Now the few things I didn't like about it, I didn't like the fact that they don't have Zerk fittings on the casters. That is going to make it harder to grease and maintain. And the other thing I really didn't like was the fact that that drawer on the bottom is only one wide drawer. The bottom does not have solid wide drawers all the way across. They are split in two. Now that's just a personal preference of mine. It really doesn't affect the storage capacity of it, but it does affect how many long tools you can effectively keep in here. Now the other big complaint was the fact that the top box and the bottom box did have separate keys, but I showed you how to quickly remedy that and also make the box a lot more secure. Now this is going to have a 3-year limited warranty on it from Milwaukee, so if you do have a problem with it during that time and it's a manufacturer defect, not that you damaged it by dropping it out of the back of your truck, they are going to fix that for you free of charge. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.